Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hockey Think Tank podcast, brought to you by the hockeythinktank.com, a website for all players, parents, and coaches to go to get a little bit of education and a little bit of inspiration regarding the greatest game on the planet. What an episode we have for you guys here today. We are bringing on the head coach in waiting at Mercyhurst University, Tom Peffall. He's the associate head coach right now, but as Rick Godkin retires after next year, he will now be the big cheese. And it's just me and Peff for this one. I was down in Nashville working at the Elite Edge Hockey Showcase. It's been going on for close to 20 years. Brandon Walker, who's the director of hockey ops for the Nashville Predators, puts it on every year and had me come in and speak. And it's just a great showcase. And so got to talk with Peff there in person. It's always a lot more fun to do it in person. It was great. And he's a great dude, great hockey coach. But before we do get over to him, we do have someone who is the talent of the podcast, and his name is Jeffrey J. Hulavechkio. Vex, what's shaking today, my man?
Oh, feeling it from First Form Summer Smash last night. Not gonna lie, first night I've had off in a minute. Got to go. First Form, the supplement company I'm with, they throw a huge party every year.
Like a rager, man.
Dude, every year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This was the 10th year of doing it. It started as a company barbecue in the parking lot of their little setup 10 years ago, and this year was the biggest one yet. They had Lil Jon, T-Pain, two friends. Do you know the Big Booty Mixes?
No.
Oh my God, dude! Everybody listening right now, if you like good mixes with like a whole bunch of fun songs, look up Two Friends Big Booty Mix.
All right,
all of them are good.
This. I'll have to.
Dude, you are gonna run through a wall. They're so much fun to listen. It reminds me of the Power Hour CD that you made after your freshman year of college for my family party, 20 years ago, whatever it was. You'll really dig these. But it was so cool, man. The company's so great. There's a reason that I'm with them and have been for years, and they just treat everyone the right way. The energy was amazing. Being in places with a ton of people that have very similar goals, very similar mindsets, very similar outlooks on life, and everybody trying to help everybody and get better. What we're trying to create here in hockey organizations and things like that. That's how First Form runs their company. So just it was nice to fill my cup up all day yesterday and last night.
That's cool. I get to fill my cup up this weekend too. I was out in Denver at the USA Hockey meetings, and it was fun. Like, it's always great. So many good hockey people. That's the one thing that is really crazy about just the state of the youth hockey world right now. There's just so many good people. There's so many good people and a lot of people who are putting in a ton of work, most of them volunteers at the USA Hockey level. And it's cool, man. Like, I got to see some people who I haven't seen in a long time and just collaborate and just talk hockey. And it's, our cups are full. Full.
It's nice. It's when you're, you and I both like being small business owners. You're in the trenches every day, grinding and battling and working. And when you get to kind of take your foot off the gas for a second and be around people where they're filling your cup up as well, it's really nice. I'm happy for you. And congratulations on the award. For those you don't know, Toski won an award with at the USA Hockey meeting. So just really cool with what he's doing in Illinois, and extremely much deserved.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Toph doesn't like being in the spotlight.
All right. So, actually with that though, one of the things that's like really cool, and I think we're getting to a spot here in Illinois. So like the youth hockey culture here is fine. Like it's okay. Like, it's not terrible. It's not great, like whatever. And one of the things that we've really tried to do, and this is true for everywhere that I've been, when people work together, good things typically happen.
Weird.
When people are so hell-bent on, like, I don't even know, just butting heads and, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I've seen it so many times in this hockey world, whether it's higher level hockey, but especially at youth hockey. Like when people work together on things, solutions form from problems. And everybody is so much, maybe this is a microcosm for like the entire world, but everybody is so much more aligned than what we're led to believe or think. And everybody, for the most part, has the same kind of mission or same kind of, maybe not exact same, but everybody's a little bit closer on their thoughts than what we typically see. And all you got to do is get people in a room and just kind of talk and ask the right questions. And a lot of times solutions will come from that. And I think that's one thing we're really trying to do here in Illinois, you know, in my spot on A-High with the affiliate part of USA Hockey. And yeah, it's just good people talking with each other, not at each other. It sounds very simple and maybe simple but not easy, but like it's funny how it works when people like work together.
Oh, wild. I mean, it's kind of like that whole thing where like you're on the ice playing against somebody and you absolutely hate their guts and you want to murder them and their family, and then you get off the ice and you start talking to them and you guys are boys. And you're like, yeah, we're the same.
I mean, how many times did that happen in pro or in junior hockey? Or even college hockey, you know, playing against somebody in junior where you're like, you absolutely hate this person. And then all of a sudden they come into your locker room and you're like, this is the greatest dude ever. Like, I can't believe I hated this guy.
Why are we are out in the garage doing karate?
Yes, best friends. We had this one guy, his name's Jamie Harrington. So Harry, I think he's still involved in the hockey world out in Massachusetts. At least he was. But he was playing in Dubuque when I was in Chicago. And it was a really funny story. So he's like a fighter, but a showman. He would be kind of like a Sean Avery type of player, but he's like 6'4". And so we're playing in Dubuque and he's doing his thing. He's straight out of the Hanson brothers. And granted, this was in year like 2000. So it's 25 years ago. So hockey was a little bit more old school at that time. And so he got into a couple fights against our team and he's doing the whole showman thing and things like that. And then in the press that night, we played against him the next day. Our coach called him a moron. And so it got into the newspapers, you know, that he called him a moron. And so the next day, Harry came out, his name's Jamie Harrington, came out for warmups and he had taped moron on the back of his jersey where his nameplate was.
Amazing.
It was unreal. And then so the next year, right, same thing. And then we had like a brawling game after. It was hilarious. But and then the next year, it was so funny. I'll never forget it. Halfway through the year, you know, we were going to make playoffs and our team was doing good. And it was like trade deadline time. And so our coach comes in before one of the practices and one of the guys had gotten traded, a guy that people liked on the team. And coach comes in, he's like, hey, we traded Scott. I think it was Scotty Kurzmarzik. Hey, we traded Scotty Kurzmarzik. So we have a, you know, new player that'll be coming in and he'll get here tomorrow. So make him feel welcome, blah, 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 blah. And he went through it and he didn't say the name of the player. And so then like towards the end, somebody was like, well, who'd we get, coach? Because we were going on a playoff run, right? Who'd we get? And he kind of looked at us with this like funny face, kind of like, and we're looking at him like, why isn't he not telling us who it is? And then somebody's like, is it Harrington from Dubuque? And he was like, yeah. And we were like, what? No way. So he like traded for the guy that he called a moron the year before. But Harry came in and it was so funny. We came into the locker room for the first time because it was that he was kind of like, how are these guys going to react to me? And he ended up being just an unbelievable teammate. And it was just the funniest thing ever that we traded for him after that. Such a funny junior story, eh?
Oh, that's great. So he taped moron over his name bar and went out there for warm-ups?
Like put white pieces of tape over his nameplate and then wrote with black Sharpie moron. It was pretty funny.
That's honestly all time. That is all time. That's amazing. Love that.
Oh, man. So, yeah, but and then how about your boy Brad Marchand?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I saw something that one of his best friends who I played with for a few years, Andrew Bodnerchuk, posted. Hold on, let me pull it up right now because I can find it in 2 seconds. It's actually pretty cool little stats here. Let me search Bodnerchuk. He put on his story. It says, Brad Marchand, 10th player in Stanley Cup playoffs history with 8 career overtime points. 4th oldest player in NHL history to score an overtime goal in a Stanley Cup final. Third player, aged 37 or older, with a game-winning goal in the Stanley Cup final in the past decade. Second player, aged 37 or older, to score in each of the first 2 games of a Stanley Cup final. Fifth career playoff overtime goal to tie Corey Perry, Carter Verhaeghe, and Patrick Kane for the most among active players. Most Stanley Cup final goals among active players, Brad Marchand.
Wow.
Ew, that's a pretty sick list of
And
accomplishments.
Florida got him for like basically nothing.
Wild.
Yeah, what a job by Billy Zito. Speaking of the USH, or not the USHL, the NHL, I do want to throw a massive congrats out there to Danny Muse. So Musey's a friend of mine. We coached against each other. He was at Yale when I was at Cornell, and now the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And so just and I tell you what, guys, like this guy is an absolute grinder. He's an absolute grinder. And I sent a social media post out the other day on this, but I think it's really relevant. And we always talk about, you and I get so many different calls from young guys or young women. Hey, how do I get into it? Right? How do I get into it? What do I do? Who should I call? All that kind of stuff. And we're happy to obviously help people and give advice and things like that. But here's the thing, Musey. Okay, so we played at Stonehill. This was pre-Stonehill being Division I. But this is his coaching journey. Ready? This is his coaching journey. Started off at Milton Academy, prep school out in Boston as an assistant coach. Then he went to Williams College, which is a Division III coach, as an assistant coach. Then he went to Sacred Heart in Atlantic Hockey as an assistant at the D1 level. Then he went to Yale as an assistant at the D1 level. Got his first head coaching gig with the Chicago Steel in the USHL. Then he went to Nashville in the NHL as an assistant coach. Then he became the head coach at the NTDP. Then he went to be an assistant with the New York Rangers, where he was up until last year, and now he's the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Okay, so did not play, D1, didn't play, in pro hockey. Started off as a prep school assistant coach to D3 to D1 and just worked his way up from there. So for all the kids out there, all the young coaches out there for a dream, and I said this in my post, if you treat people right and you work your ass off, good things typically happen. You treat people right and you outwork your competition, typically good things happen. And that's Musey to a T, man. Like, he's a great dude, shirt off your back kind of guy, just a servant leader. And I don't know of anybody, and you talk to people in the hockey world that know him too, I don't know of anybody that outworks him. He is an absolute workhorse. And so just congrats to Musey, man. You love to see good people, achieve these kinds of things. And but it's also a great lesson for everybody out there as well, especially the young people out there.
Love it. Nothing better than seeing the guys who live that way be rewarded. So very cool.
Yeah, 100%, man. All right, another great guy, Tom Peffall. Tom Peffall, just a beauty. Really excited to give you guys this conversation. Again, he's the head coach in waiting at Mercyhurst. So in the following year, after next year, he is going to be the head coach there. We talk a lot of college hockey and the changes that are going on, and his journey, which is similar to Musey's at the end of the day. But again, great guy, great grinder. And before we do go over to Peff, though, we do have some people to thank. First, we want to thank the guys over at icehockeysystems.com, our title sponsor, the best website for all your coaching education needs. They just got done with a big coaching seminar up in St. Catharines, Ontario, that I heard went really, really well. So they're going to have a lot more even content coming in through there. I'm flying out to Buffalo in a couple of weeks to shoot some more content for them too. Just unreal, salt of the earth. Great, great, great people. Great website. Thousands of drills on there. Whiteboard explanations from really high-level smart hockey people. Ability to go in and draw up your drills, send them out to your team beforehand, build a drill library, and we've teamed up with them to do an associations platform where you can get this for every single coach within your organization. Absolute no-brainer. So go to icehockeysystems.com today and check out the associations platform. Jeffrey J. Hulavecchio, it is now your turn to proceed.
Thank you, sir. Proceed with the Borophyll. Just want to say thank you to Train Heroic. You guys know Train Heroic's how I train thousands of players every year. I've got hundreds and hundreds of players doing my online training right now from all across the world, on top of teams and organizations, junior teams, midget teams, at-home teams, kids below 16. I can facilitate any type of training at a hilariously low price, and it's all because of the very cool app that Train Heroic has built and allowing me to actually have videos and demonstrations and keep in contact with anybody who's training online with me, and they get direct access to me. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Train Heroic and what that's allowed for me to help way more players around the world.
Boom. Also want to thank Helios Hockey. We're going to do some fun things with Helios on the podcast here coming up in the next couple weeks, but massive congrats to the Helios guys. They just signed Matthew Nyes of the Toronto Maple Leafs to be a spokesman for them. And he's obviously a rising star in the game. I think he scored 30 goals this year, played on a line with Marner and Matthews, and just an absolute workhorse. I coached against him when he was at Minnesota and I was at Michigan. Whew. The line was him, Logan Cooley, and Jimmy Snuggerud. And yeah, that was a pretty good freaking line. But anyway, Helios Hockey, congrats to them on that. But also, what is it? It is a sensor that you put into your shoulder pad that gives you real-time feedback on your play, specifically two big things. Number one being what they call a hustle score. So every time you move, that sensor lights up and gives you a hustle score, and the younger kids absolutely love that. And also your stride length mechanics, just a phenomenal development tool on top of the tracking that it does for you. So go to helioshockey.com today, and if you use the coupon code ThinkTank, one word, you will get a discount of 20% on either your Pro Annual or Pro 24-month subscription. But the best thing about it is it syncs up with your video. Absolute game changer. Like I said, when you go, it lights up. And every time you do a rep in practice or every time you do a shift during the game, that thing's going to light up and pairs with your video. So whether it's your iPhone or iPad, it even connects with Live Barn. It's a phenomenal development tool. So go to helioshockey.com today and check that out. Also want to thank Crossbar, the best website out there for all your streamlining of your operations for a youth hockey organization. It is a solution that everybody that I've talked to who has switched over from the big box type software solutions to this, they've been extremely happy. So what is it? It's got a very sleek and easy to use website design, registration for big things like your season or small little daily things like drop-ins, clinics, and lessons. It's got a great club schedule, 5-star communication app, tools for financial reporting and volunteer and facility management. Like, this thing is an absolute game changer, guys. So go to crossbar.org today and check them out. And lastly, thank you to all of our amazing listeners. We love you guys so much. We are fitting this one in today with Vex and I having a lot of different stuff going on during the week, but we want to make sure that we're getting some stuff out to you every single week because we love you guys. And the only thing we ask for in return, if you can, is just interacting with our podcast on your podcast app. So shooting us a rating or a review, sending it out to your groups, your posses, whatever that may be, whether it's sharing it on social media, sharing it with your parent groups, sharing it with your coaches groups. We feel like, and we hope that we are providing a lot of positive value in the youth hockey world and the hockey world at large. And so if you can help us to share us, it just goes a long way to us, and we would appreciate that. So without further ado, though, this is going to be a phenomenal conversation. So here we go with the head coach in waiting at Mercyhurst University, Division I school out in Erie, PA, Tom Peffall. We are so excited to have on this episode of the podcast. We're live in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee at the Elite Edge Showcase. We got Coach in Waiting. I checked that online. Coach in Waiting at Mercyhurst University, Tom Peffall. Puff, how are we doing today, man?
Couldn't be better, Toph, here in Nashville with you, sitting here looking at the ice as we speak. So life is good.
Life is good. I tell you what, this I think is my favorite city in the world.
You and I talked about that a little bit last night. It is
listening to country music.
Yep, by far my favorite town. Country music, hockey. Good company. What more could you ask for?
Yeah. And I do want to give a shout out before we get into your journey and your story here. Brandon Walker, Director of Hockey Ops for the Nashville Predators, who puts this showcase on every year. What a guy. Like one of one in terms of, like, do you know there's just people in this world that are just like good people? Like, he's good people.
Elite human being. There's times I've called him through the year. Hockey advice, family advice. Preds come to Philly. My nephew's down in the locker room. Whatever you ask Brandon Walker for, he does for you. He's just that type of person.
Yeah, just a great human being, man.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we got a lot of those in the hockey world, but there's just some special people too.
He's top notch. That is for sure. He is elite edge.
Elite, yeah, and elite in the actual way that elite is, not like how we use it in hockey. All right, man. Well, let's jump into your story. Like, grew up in Philly, huge Philly guy. How'd you fall in love with the great game of hockey?
You know what? My path has been a little bit different, right? Like, I feel like so many of my friends and other coaches grew up with dads playing, brothers playing. For me, it was a little bit different. My cousin played hockey. He's 3 years older than me. He played hockey, and his sister, my other cousin Rachel, she figure skated. So kind of grew up going to the rink, checking them out. Really intrigued by the speed, watch the game, watch my cousin. On the other hand of that, my dad was a rugby coach.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and he played. So he played for 20 years and coached for 17.
So he's tough.
He's tough. So he's recently passed, but he tough guy. And growing up on that and seeing the physicality, the rugged side of all the tackling guys, mix that with the speed of hockey, kind of all came together for me, and I fell in love with it right away.
And so when you were growing up, that was probably around the time of like Lindros and the Legion of Doom, Leclerc, like Desjardins, all those guys. Were you growing up in that era?
Eric Lindros to this day, still my favorite Flyer. had the jersey, had the fat head, you name it. Eric Lindros was my guy. Legion of Doom. So excited to see what they can get going here. I know they're battling back and, friendly with some of those guys. So excited to see what they can do here in the future with the rebuild that they're on.
Yeah. Do you think there's a comparable in today's NHL to Lindros or no?
Oh, that's like, a good question.
I don't think there is, but like
the strength, the speed.
Like Wilson isn't as good. Like he's as probably physically dominant, but not as good of a player. Then you look at like a Rantanen who's got that size, but not a centerman, and like
think about Lindros
not as tough
in Oshawa. Forget the NHL. Like think about how big and strong he was at the junior level amongst his peers. Pretty incredible.
I can't even imagine.
Pretty incredible.
Just a man amongst boys.
Huge. Have met him in part. Like he is a massive, massive human being.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's really unfortunate what happened with him in his career. Like, if he didn't have those concussions, you wonder where he would sit in terms of, like, the pantheon of the greats. Like, he might have been up. He would have won a Stanley Cup, I would imagine, at some point in his career had he not gone through that stuff.
He was just so fun to watch. Like,
yeah.
You go to a game or you watch it on TV, you want a goal? Eric Lindros. You want to fight? Eric Lindros. You want to see somebody get dropped at center ice?
Yeah.
Eric Lindros, right?
Yeah.
So he was fascinating going to the games, back in the day there with my dad and seeing the Legion of Doom. I would go back to your first question and say that's obviously been a big part of falling in love with the game too, and watching that brand of Philly hockey kind of. I would tell you in Philly growing up, there was a lot more people that went for the other stuff than the actual game, but they made it fun to watch.
So does that, like your upbringing and falling in love with the game with that kind of, I don't want to say Broad Street Bullies because that was the 70s, but just the rough and tough Lindros, Legion of Doom, like Philly type style, has that affected you at all in the way that you like see the game now in how you coach and how you recruit and what you look for in specific players and what you want out of your team?
A little bit. I think it's hard to make the comparison, but I do. When I think about the Flyers that I've always kind of idolized growing up, another name would always come to mind is Rod Brendamore, right? Like the way that guy played the games seems pretty similar to the way he's coaching it now, right? Rough, tough, in your face, like energetic, the passion. So sure, I think that if we can find guys like that, but that's the whole competitive side of this recruiting conversation and everything else we would talk about.
Well, let's talk about that because in my talk today that I had with the kids, one of the things I made sure to really touch on was that competitiveness. And the story that I tell is I'm very fortunate to have been able to coach 2 Hobie Baker winners, and Adam Fantilli and Andy Mealy back in Miami. And I think their separator, their thing that made them unique and special, outside obviously they're very talented, but like they're 2 of the most competitive people I've ever met in my entire life. Like not even close. It almost to the point of like psycho. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the best way possible. That's a compliment. And so I try to ask coaches this sometimes, but like, what are your thoughts on like that being innate versus that being able to be taught? Can you teach it? When can you teach it? How can you teach it? How much of it is innate? It's just a fascinating conversation for me because it is such a, I think, a prerequisite for so many players that want to play at the highest levels. How do you instill that?
I think teaching it and instilling it can be two different things.
Yeah.
Right. I think that first of all, we have to go back to, right, like hopefully at Mercyhurst here, the plan is to get ultra competitors. But we need to do that every day, right? I truly believe you can't just flip that switch on a Friday night and all of a sudden you're a competitor.
Yeah.
Right? Like the same compete needs to be there on Monday at practice after maybe a long weekend or a Sunday than it is on Friday. But I think that as coaches, what we demand out of them, the personal relationship of kind of being on them with that tough love, I think you can get it out of them even if they're not bringing it every day. I know that's kind of in a little bit of a circle, but I think everybody has it in them, right? Like whether they want to do it or not, and we can bring that out of them. But I think that's relationship based.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that that's kind of what I'm going to be able to bring to Mercyhurst is the relationship with the player, and just being genuine with them and being hard on them to get that out of them, not to be a hard ass, but because I truly believe that it's in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, you coach certain kids, you play with certain kids, and you even think about like our own makeup and stuff like that. There's a bit of it that's innate. Like it's funny, like my mom, one of her favorite stories to tell is when I was like 5 years old. My parents had me when they were like 23 and 22 years old. So like nobody else had kids, so they would like bring me to their parties, and I was kind of like the entertainment per se. And she was watching me play like Sega Genesis at 5 years old against one of like her 28-year-old friends at that point. And the guy was like, let me win. And then he was like, nah, I'm going to start putting it on. And so he started to like score goals and beat me. We were playing like NHL 90, whatever. And apparently I went up to the console, and as soon as he started beating me, I like turned it off, shut the TV off, ran upstairs. And I'm like, screw this, so like innate, but also like, you're right. Like that relationship side of it, you can get it out of people too. Everybody's kind of got maybe to certain varying degrees, but like having those relationships and the ability to bring it out is probably a quality of unique and special coaches.
Yeah. Like, I think it's funny you share that story, and I think it trickles down, right? From the head coach, the assistant coaches to the players. But I'm the same way, right? Like my wife still to this day, if we take two cars somewhere and we leave at the same time, I'm telling you, Toph, like my goal is to get home before her. I will not say that to her, but I will. And when we pull up and I'm out of the car already, she will look at me with a smirk and be like, I know you genuinely tried to beat me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But it's a disease. It's in me.
Yeah.
Right. And I do feel like that's an everydayer, right? Like it's in me, whether we're driving home in two cars or we're playing a game Friday night. And I think that can be contagious when you're out there for practice, when you're out there for games to kind of get the other guys on board with you.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. That car thing is hilarious. I'm such a tool. So like, I remember like you're sitting at a red light and you're the first car there and there's a car next to you. There's no way that car's beating you off the line.
Not a chance.
Zero. And it's kind of rubbed off on my oldest daughter. She's 8 now. And so same thing. Like if my wife and I take two cars, my oldest daughter will typically want to go with me because she's got that kind of psycho competitiveness that I have, and we're going to beat mom home. Like
sure.
it's going to happen, or I'm going to hear from it. Like if I don't beat mom home, I'm going to hear from her.
But I don't even think about it. Like she'll get out of the car and be like, I know you did that on purpose. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh God, I love it. Yeah, it's I feel like the environment's so important too. I feel like the environment, you talked about the relationship with the coaches, but also like surrounding kids with other like-minded competitive people is the way to bring it out too. Like there's nothing like good old-fashioned player on player, competition. Here's the puck, we're in a 50-50, or here's a game, next goal wins. Like, man, like creating a fun environment where there's competition throughout a practice, throughout a workout, throughout whatever they're doing, man, just like making that a habit is like such a cool thing.
Yeah, and I think when you add to that almost like rewards, right?
Yeah.
It makes it ups the ante in the compete level. So yeah, everybody talks about it. It's in hockey all the time. How much are you competing? What are you doing? I think it's extremely important to not only do it on the ice. Like I'm sure you've talked about it, and other guys have, whether it's in the weight room or you have a preseason golf tournament like that everyday compete, it just becomes second nature. But I truly, the more we talk about it, I've said it before, I don't think you can turn it on a Friday and Saturday night, and it's just there. It does not happen. So another side of that is understanding that, right? Like if it's not me getting on a guy, like what can we do to get it out of him? But I think that's all correlates with that player relationship of learning how do they respond? How do they want to be coached? Is it hard? Is it screaming and yelling? Is that how they respond? Or is it, hey, pulling them aside? Hey, like I need you a little bit tougher here. I need you better here. Because I do believe that everybody learns differently. So if we can find what pushes the buttons of each guy, I think we're going to be better off.
Yeah, and I'm totally in agreement with you on everybody learns differently, and that's where it's like the mark of, I think, a really truly special coach is somebody that understands how to get the big point across for everybody, the identity, the standards, all that stuff, but also having the ability to coach each individual player in their own way. Because, man, like you get a roster of 26,
30
or 30, you have 30 different personalities that you're trying to figure out what makes them tick, trying to figure out how hard you can coach them, when to coach them hard, how to build that relationship. Everybody's got a different backstory, different parents that have raised them. And I think like the deeper you can get into the onion of these kids and really find out what their backstory is and how they God, and it's really cool when you can connect with kids on that level, and a lot of times I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the best connections I've had with players, a lot of times it's been from some kind of shared story. Heard you went through this, me too. Yeah, I heard you went through this adversity. Oh, this is how I did, or I had a teammate that did that. I'm going to put you in touch with them type stuff. You feel like that's just like the personal story and the shared kind of like experience type thing is important?
Yeah, and I think to your point, it's almost different every day, right? Like you could have had a fight with your girlfriend. You could have failed an exam, right? Something could be going on at home. So the way I coached you yesterday and I was hard, like it might be different today, right? Like you might need a different style today, which it's a lot for a coach, right? You have to find a way to massage all these personalities to get the best out of everyone. But I do, right? Like if you're having a happy-go-lucky week and I'm hard on you, you're like, all right, coach, thanks. And then, something happens in your family that's pretty upsetting. I might not get the same response out of you today that I did yesterday.
Yeah.
So again, it's as long as you build that relationship and you kind of keep it open, I think that's where we can all be successful.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1. Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach adventure on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 U.S.-based fraud support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it together at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/secure. Protect yourself now at aura.com/secure.
Do you feel like with that relationship building, I feel like there's been a bit of a kind of a shift in the way that coaches have thought about it, where I feel like now coaches today are a lot more kind of willing to kind of share, right? A lot more willing to kind of put their personal, I don't want to say opinions, but just their personalness, Vex and I call it. And like just
Dupree? Did you just make a Yumi and Dupree
100%
quote?
that was a Yumi and Dupree quote. Much more respect for you now, the fact that you just did that. seven different kinds of smoke.
That's amazing.
But like, just what would you think about that?
I do. I think the shared experiences can be extremely valuable. If there's not something that I've gone through, maybe one of our assistants has, right? Like, we've got a situation now at Mercyhurst, and I don't want to get too involved in it, but a player is going through something that I've gone through recently in my family. Not an easy situation, I can say that. But it is like you understand that life happens. Like, we all want the best every day, right? Guys are making decisions on where they're going to school, for the most part, for hockey, right? Obviously, academics are extremely important, but there's a bigger picture here, and we want these guys to be successful after school, after playing, and I just think that shared experience of what worked for you, what didn't work for you, how you handled it, your thought process, if you talk to somebody else, I think could be really valuable for this generation of players, right? Everything is so social media and what you see, like, not everybody's got the perfect world, right? So when they can hear somebody close to you that they're with every day that has been through it, I think it can really like pull on their heartstrings and help them.
No question. And I think as a coach too, like, it's not like you have to do that every day. Like,
for sure,
where you're like, walking into the locker room every day and being like, hey, like, I was crying in the bathroom because my kid would, type stuff. But like, all it takes is like one little nugget every once in a while, and just that like emotional intelligence to know when a guy needs something like that. Like, I remember, give credit a lot to Shafe. One of my classmates when I was playing for him was going through something in his personal life, and it was affecting his play and things like that. And I remember Shafe called him into his office, and he was kind of, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? And he kind of shared what was going on. And then Shafe shared similar to what you're talking about, shared a personal story. And you would never expect that out of a guy like Shafe, right? Like, everybody, if in some way, is a little scared of him, when you're playing for him, and he demands a lot. And then like he kind of opened up a little bit to him, and just like this one conversation. And I remember talking with my buddy afterwards, and he was like, dude, I feel like a freaking 9 million pound weight just got lifted off my shoulders.
There's a little bit of, I feel, as a coach, and I'm going to see as a head coach, but as an assistant, like, you show that little bit of vulnerability.
Yeah.
They're like, they almost look at you different. Like, you are human. You're
a human.
You're not
100%.
just telling me what to do every day. So yeah, I totally agree, and I think it really helps the players.
Yeah, I remember. So when I was coaching at Cornell, I would have the forwards over for dinner, because I dealt mostly with the forwards. Once a semester, I'd bring them over for dinner, and my wife and I would cook for them. We'd watch some hockey, whatever it may be. And I remember at the end of the year, I would give them like little surveys, just some feedback. Hey, like, what'd you like that I did? What you didn't like? What can I do better? Yada, yada, yada. And it was amazing to see how many of the players wrote about those dinners and how important they were. Like, hey, thanks. Like, that was a big, like, we should do more of that. Like, thanks for having us over. And I think when your players can see you not as just coach, but they can see you as husband, they can see you as dad, they can see you as friend, with people around the community and things like that. Like, that relationship can get built so much more because they see you just as another human being.
It is fun, right? Like, that's another part of the reason that I do love the college level, right? I've coached in the North American League, and great experience. Love my time there. But the age of the guys, like just being grown-ups, being men, going through life experiences, that's part of the reason that I'm really passionate about college hockey.
Yeah, yeah, and college hockey in and of itself is a little different today.
Sure is.
It was, even 2-3 years ago, and so obviously there's a lot of changes that can happen. But we were talking about it like. There's been 3 really big changes. You talk about the NIL, you talk about the transfer portal, now you talk about the CHL and major junior kids being able to come down. One of those things in and of itself would be a seismic change in the college hockey landscape, and all 3 have happened within the last 2 years. So, maybe just, I think I'd love to ask you first about the major junior rule, because you're in Erie. Mercyhurst is, right next door to Ontario and a lot of different OHL teams. And I know you have some OHL commits and other major junior commits and stuff like that. How have you kind of tried to navigate these last 6 to 8 months since that rule has come down? How much has it changed your recruiting strategy? Because there's so many people out there, particularly young families that listen to our podcast, players and parents that are kind of like, what's this going to do? So how have you seen things change, and how has it affected just the way that you do things?
To be honest, Topher, I don't think anybody knows how it's going to change yet, right? I think there's still going to be, whether it's a year or 2 for this to kind of settle in and play out, to really know the effect it's going to have. For us, I think it's been a pretty positive change for college hockey.
Yeah,
I do. The amount of players that are now available. Like the Division III hockey is going to be off the charts now. And I'm excited for that, right? Like coaching Division III for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that kind of up a little bit. But for us, it's been nice to expand the player pool. We've got the Otters 2 minutes away, Brampton, Brantford, Niagara. There's a ton of guys there. That makes recruiting for us in terms of travel and the budget and all that pretty seamless to be able to go a mile down the road and check out a bunch of teams for the Otters. It's been an interesting transition. I think some teams have been very open, very welcoming, open door. How you doing? Let's talk about this.
As long as you take my 20-year-olds.
Yeah, as long as you take my 20-year-olds. And there's been some others that aren't quite on board yet. And you know what? I understand that, right? It's a change for everybody. But for us, we've kind of dabbled in it all over. We've got a couple OHL kids coming in, a couple kids from the Q coming in. We've got U Sports transfers. So for us, obviously we didn't have the year we wanted last year, and we kind of thought that this was a great time to make a change, right? There's going to be some risk involved. We don't know how all these players are going to translate. We don't know how they're going to do with academics. There's a lot that's going to go into this. But in our mind at Mercyhurst, it was just, hey, this is a chance for us to try something new. Let's go after some of these guys. And sure, I think there's going to be a couple that are extremely impact guys for us. And maybe there's 1 or 2 that, it's not a fit, and we're going to see how that goes. But I don't think we're the only ones in that.
No.
Right? I think there's going to be there's going to be guys all over, and it's, we could get into the weeds for days on how these kids are coming and what you're paying them and where they're coming from. So I really think it's good for the game. I think it was crazy to me for so long that we could pay kids or we're giving them NIL, but you couldn't go play in the OHL and make your college package.
Yeah.
Right. What was the difference in my eyes? So I'm excited for it. I think there's a lot of players that are now available, and I think every level is going to see an uptick in their skill and development now.
For sure. And I think what's the saying? I always butcher this saying, but the rising tide raises all boats.
Sounds
so right. Yeah. But I do think that, particularly USA Hockey and American players, this is a tough pull for them, because there's going to be a lot more Canadians in college hockey now, and my hope is that lights a fire under kids. It is going to be a little bit tougher now to make the Division I level. However, I'm going to use that as motivation. It's not the dream is done or the world's out to get me, all these circumstances, yada yada yada. But let's go. Let's get better. And
it's just the response of guys too has just been amazing. The OHL kids, the anybody in the CHL, the want to play Division I hockey is awesome to see.
Yeah,
right?
I talked to people who are in youth
awesome.
in like Toronto, and they never heard anybody talk about college hockey before, and now they're like jacked about it, like completely. And maybe they always were, but they felt a little bit of pressure to not say it for fear of ostracization. You know, maybe it was always there, but like like you talk to people, especially in like the Toronto area. You know, they're jacked about it.
Well, there's so many options for them close to home too,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know, we're bringing in a couple transfers and from U Sports. One's from Prince Edward Island, right? Or that's where he's going to school.
Yeah.
So he's going to be transferring in, and for him, like he's a Toronto-based kid.
Yeah. A couple hours away from home now. That's
Played
it.
for the Erie Otters, so like he's familiar with the area. But for him, it's a chance to play in front of your family again, right? Like it's just the location part's been huge. So when you mentioned the Toronto guys, I think it's really exciting for them to be able to check a lot of boxes, right? You're close to home. You could see your family. We could play Division I hockey.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of excitement, and I'm really excited to see how this pans out for all of college hockey, not just Division I.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No, I'm like, God, like if anybody had a crystal ball to say like what college hockey is going to look like in 5 years,
Like
they'd be
we
lying
think
to
about
me.
the amount of players available. I don't want to go back to it, but for Division III now, right? Like D1's obviously going to rise. The cream's going to come up. Everybody's going to be good. But the amount of players now that are going to go Division III,
Yeah.
I am super excited to see that, because like there's a place to play for everyone.
Yeah.
That's like a famous Rick Gockin. So if it's not here, there's a place to play hockey for everyone. And I think the more we grow it, the more we open it up, right? Like all these programs are popping up now, Division I, Division III, like we need them. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go.
Oh, yeah.
You could talk about this
You're
for
making me miss college hockey
a
again,
long
like.
time, but it does. It makes it, you know what, as somebody that's been recruiting for a majority of the past couple of years too, I'll tell you what, it's fun. Like to go and watch an OHL game, to see Oshawa, to see kids, like to watch the Memorial Cup. Not only are you working and recruiting, but the game you love, like you're getting to see it played at an unbelievable level.
Yeah.
It talk about loving what you do and not feeling like you're working. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah, totally. And I want to go back to college hockey for everyone too. The other thing that's going to get really good too is the ACHA, Division I club hockey. Like that's going to be legit.
And some of those places, you're walking into the rink in flip flops. There's palm trees. You're on the beat. Like,
oh, dude, I worked with UNLV this year, and so I got the chance to go out to Vegas and work with those guys, and they're having the time of their life. They're having the absolute time of their life, and they won the national championship this year. And like, it's funny. Like, you even think about coaches; they have an unreal coaching staff too. Like people at those levels, and that's where so many kids coming up, especially ones that are like have been playing AAA since they're in diapers type stuff. It's like Division I or bust. It's like, no, like there's a lot of really good Division III schools that provide great education and they're great coaches. And there's also a lot of great ACHA opportunities as well. Again, yeah, totally, man. There's college hockey for everybody.
Yeah, it does. I understand the goal of everybody, shoot for the stars, play Division I, but it's not a disrespect thing, but some of the D3 conversations, like you just mentioned, some of these staffs, some of these academics, like unbelievable.
Yeah.
High level hockey. Some of them have fantastic arenas and facilities. And if you look at guys moving on, a lot of these Division III guys are going to the coast, right? There's a lot of Division I guys going to the coast. So, you talk to kids all the time, and it's where are you going to play? Where are you going to develop? You said it in your last podcast, there's a different path for everybody. There's no right or wrong path. There's no right or wrong path for coaching.
Yeah.
And I've seen that loud and clear. So it's exciting to see where the game is going as a whole, but I think everything's going to be elevated here.
Yeah. Well, that's a good kind of transition. Like, so you talk about a different path for players and then a different path for coaches. So coached in junior hockey, North American League, coach at the Division III level. Now you're coaching as an assistant in Mercyhurst, and then now you're going to be the head coach right after that. Head coach in waiting, HCIW.
It's almost like a doctor.
Yeah. What are some like the biggest lessons you've learned from going from level to level? Like, are there certain things that you feel like you needed to change and do differently going from junior to D3 or from D3 to D1? Are you mostly doing things the same way? Like, what has that trajectory taught you?
I think for the most part, it's been similar. The best thing that I honestly did when I look back in my career, right? Yeah, everybody has friends and acquaintances and coaching and all over the place. And, if they're in the North American League, they want to go coach Division I, or they're just getting done playing and they want to get into coaching, but they want to go right to Division I or right to the USHL. When I look back at my career over the past 10 years, I think the best thing that I did was stay in Division III for as long as I did. You have to do everything in Division III. Like, you're the recruiter, you're the power play guy, you're booking the meals, you're helping practice, like you're doing the school visits. You wear all the hats. So as you kind of climb up and duties are spread out amongst the staff, I feel like it's invaluable, the things that you've done and you've experienced. So I don't think there's been as much. Now I think next year there's going to be some change, obviously. But for me, like I just want to remain the same person. That's all I want to do. I think there's going to be days that are more challenging than others. But in terms of growing, like my first job at Newman University was the best thing I ever did, man.
Yeah.
$6,000 a year. Talk about wanting to get a foot in the door, huh? But if I didn't take that, who knows where I'd be? Did I think I'd become a head coach in Division I 11 years later? At the time, probably not. So timing is everything, but it's really fun to look back on the path. And there's been awesome experiences from each level. I've loved something different at each one, even the North American League, right? Like I worked under Joe Coombs there. Like Coombsy's a pretty demanding guy, unbelievable person. Some of the details that he shared with me and the way he saw the game has stuck with me. Like, we're still doing drills at Mercyhurst that I got from there. So yeah. Dominic Dawes at Stevenson, national championship as a player and a coach, right? Matt Tendler gave me my first job at Newman. I'll be forever grateful for that. So I think there's been a lot through the journey, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I so agree. Like, I think back to and I got really lucky. But my first year, I was graduate assistant coach at Miami of Ohio, making nothing. I was getting my master's paid for, which was awesome. But, like, you're doing the grunt work. And when you do the grunt work, you learn. And you try and you fail and you figure it out. And you got to do the things that the other coaches don't want to do or don't have the time to do. And you just got to do it. And you learn so much through doing that. And I totally agree. And I just got lucky that the next year, both coaches from my alma mater left to go to other schools. So I got my foot in the door there. But like that one year that I had at Miami where I was legitimately a grad student in my second semester, trying to jam 2 years into 1 year, also like doing pre-scouts and being on the ice every day with the players and coaching with the team as a grad assistant, like that might have been the most development I ever got.
Talk about time management for yourself.
Oh, geez. Yeah,
right,
I'm not
think
great at that.
So who you're working for, I think also plays a huge role.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like those guys I mentioned, they all, especially Rick now, like they've all given me a ton of responsibility.
Yeah.
And if I didn't work for guys that are willing to share that, have the trust in you to give you that responsibility, I wouldn't be where I am today. And that's something that I really want to make sure that I take with me over the next couple of years is, whoever I hire, whoever our staff may be, guys are going to be in and out, is to give them the leash, to give them the responsibility, because I feel that had a huge impact on me getting to where I am because of what those guys gave me.
Yeah, totally. It was unreal. Like my first year working for Rico at Miami, and the amount of trust he put in me, but also like you got to earn that trust too. Like you have to, it doesn't come right away at the snap of a finger. There's going to be a person that's going to do research on you to make sure that you are a go-getter and to make sure that you are, a worker and willing to do those kinds of things. And that's where it's interesting. Like I'm very lucky, but also I've never had to interview in my life because everybody that's hired me before has worked with me and has seen what I can do from all of those things that we talk about. And so like, it's funny. I get a lot of young coaches that reach out about how do I get into it, right? How do I get into it? How do I get into it? And I think the biggest thing, I'll ask you the question after I kind of give my little spiel here, but you have to, first of all, be willing to work for like no money at the at the beginning.
Very nice way to put it.
That's a part of it. But then you got to add value to the people that you work with. And I look at like a lot of the coaches that I've worked for and some of the things that they've looked for in other coaches and talking to other people. Like, I think there is a huge need for go-getters. I don't think any head coach wants to babysit. I think head coaches want people who bring solutions to them and not problems. I think they want people who will bring ideas to them and then an execution plan on how to do it. Not like, hey, we need to do this. What do you think we should do? And so just like adding value to people and then building that network just through being a good person and doing a good job. I think that's everything. But I'd love to ask you, because you've obviously been through it as well. So like, what kind of advice would you give to young coaches that want to get into it?
Don't look at any opportunity and think about the money. If that's real, I'm being serious, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be right. Like, listen, maybe you played in the NHL and obviously you're going to get a little bit different opportunity, but you have to start somewhere. And I think it's more important to start, as we just discussed, with somebody that's going to give you responsibility. Big goal just scored out there.
Yeah.
Somebody that's going to give you responsibility, somebody that's going to teach you. Right, that's invaluable experience.
Yeah.
You make a couple bucks through the year, that's great. But what are you going to do? How are you going to get about it? Right, like I was really intrigued when I left the North American League. I went to Stevenson, right, and Dominic was starting Stevenson from the ground up then. Like, so for me, that was recruiting,
Mm-hmm.
and he literally go where you want, do what you want, like make a plan and go. For me, he gave me all that responsibility, trusted me to go do it, but being able to go do that. I met the people, I networked, I sat with people, listen to how they recruit, different guys that you obviously know them, and we share friendships with, but that's to me how you get in the door, right? There's a lot of, I don't know if it's this generation or what, but guys are trying to be very picky on the jobs instead of just taking the right opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense. I do think like another thing I would add is find a mentor or find a couple mentors, somebody that are in the business. And that's one of the things as a young coach, when I was getting into it, like there were people that were really freaking nice to me and like competitors, that like I'll never forget, and God rest his soul, Red Gendron, one of the most, I don't even know the word to describe him. Just a great human being. Just like we were talking about walks earlier. I remember one of my first ever trips out as a recruiter. I can't even remember where it is, but for those of you who don't know Red Gendron, like just like old soul, like gregarious, but also this like, old school kind of guy kind of thing. And
I met Red for the first time when you guys were playing in Michigan and Allentown 2 years ago.
Oh, no way.
It's
Really?
The first time I met Red. Yeah.
So I'll never forget, I'm walking up the stairs and it's this arena. I can't even remember where we were at. And he literally, like big older guy, just puts his arm around me. He says, "Hey kid, come watch the game with me." And so I go over, I watch the entire first period with Red. He's telling me about his stories from when he was coaching at Maine and winning national championships. And he was coaching at Yale at the time, like one of our rivals. And anything you need, you just let me know. Like, it's a lot of really good guys in this industry, in this business. And, you find people who you can confide in. You find people, because this lifestyle is not easy. Like most of the conversation, I shouldn't say most, but like I've had a lot of conversations with college guys, especially after I got out of it, and made the decision to take a step away to have a little bit more balance in the life, which we don't have as college coaches. And I've had a lot of like awesome life conversations with guys, and there's like a lot of really good people. So another thing that young guys should do is like find a mentor, find somebody that's in it that or somebody that knows them. And most people are very generous and gracious with their time to help younger guys in need.
So I love that, and I agree. I'm going to share two quick stories here about two other guys that I feel the same way about. This had to be 9 years ago. It was my second year at Newman. Right, so I'm coaching a Division III school, pretty good at the time, right? They were coming off of an 2009 national championship. So I'm in somewhere in Manitoba at a rink. I'm standing with a handful of Division III guys, and on the other end of the rink is Dane Jackson. Congrats to Jax for his new hire recently. And the guys are talking about him. He's got his North Dakota stuff on, like the big time, right? When you're a D3 guy, like it's Dane Jackson, North Dakota. So at that time, it was just when Hack left to go to Philly. I've obviously got the Philly relationship. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw it.
So you went up to him and asked for an autograph for Hack.
Yeah, right. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go have a conversation with him, not knowing where it's going to go. So I go up, introduce myself. Hey, just wanted to say hello. You know, I didn't know if he was going to talk to me, give me the time of day. Hey, nice to meet you. Like, when I tell you that this man gave me every second of his time. So we're talking a little bit about Philly and, you know, Hack going there and his experience. And just so happened that night, the Flyers were playing a West Coast game, 10 o'clock start. So I'm like, I'm actually going to Boston Pizza down the road to check out the Flyers.
Great salt and pepper wings.
And he's like, I'll see you there. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Sure enough, I walk in after the last game of the night. He might not even remember the story. He's sitting there with his jacket over one chair. Look, I was waiting for you. Well, you got to be kidding me. Sat down. We had some beers. We had some pizza. From that day, like, I've always kept in touch with Dane.
That's cool.
I've always had a huge amount of respect for him because, like, he didn't need to do that. But like we talked about walks, he's just a good person.
Yeah.
Right. And then the second one was Guy Godowski. I went to a level 5 USA coaching certificate in Philly. He spoke, guest speaker. I shot him a text afterwards like, hey, really enjoyed you. You don't know me. Tom Peffall from Newman. Send the text. My phone rings. Guy Godowski.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, just wanted to thank you for your text. What'd you enjoy the most? Like, those, you know, for me at the time, those were big time coaches. They still are, right? Like, they're the best. So I genuinely want to take experiences like that with me to come full circle to your original question about mentors and just being a good human being.
Yeah. Right?
Like, that's so important in our game.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Dane Jackson because I got a great Dave Haxel story. When he was still coaching at North Dakota, at our coaches convention down in Florida, I was a first-year coach with Cornell. Just got into it. And I remember walking down the hallway and Dave Haxel's walking this way. We're like going to pass each other, right? And I'm like, oh, what do I do? Do I just say hi? Like, it's Dave Haxel. He's a legend. And I'll never forget, like, I was kind of going to do the thing where I was just going to look to the side and not say anything, you know, just like nervous and shy. And he stops me. And he goes, hey, Topher, right? And I said, yeah. And he goes, hey, I want to let you know that, like, I remember watching you play back in the day when you were playing at the Chicago Steel and with Cornell, and I loved your passion for the game, and, like, we need more guys like you in our game, and glad you're getting into coaching, so congrats. And I'm like, thanks, Dave Haxtell. Like,
right? It's
are you kidding? I was floored and blown away. And then, you know, with that, and then Red Gendron and getting the opportunity to coach, like, you know, Brex and Nick Petraglia and Rico, my first at Miami, like, just phenomenal human beings, and Shafe and Benny Sire at Cornell, like, getting into it. And, like, I'm fortunate too, like, being at Michigan with Nar and Rass and like, and Muxon, like, it just, there's so many good people in the game. And kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier, if, like, the younger guys, like, don't, like, if you're walking down a hallway with a Dave Haxel type person, like, don't just look the other way and be shy. Just, like, hey, say hello. And, like, most guys will give you their time and they're happy to do it. And that, I think, I don't know if you get that in other sports. That might be something that
I don't think you do.
Pretty unique and pretty special about our sport. Especially within college hockey. And it's funny to, like, talk to some of the older guard that's been in there, and they feel like that's starting to get a little bit out of the game with the transfer portal and just the recruiting and how kind of cutthroat it's become. And I hope it doesn't I don't want to say stain those kinds of relationships within the game. There it has in some capacities, but like that, I do think there's a lot of really good people, and I even still have people to this day, that I knew in the business that'll just shoot me a text every once in a while, just checking in on you, man. How's everything going? And it's pretty cool.
It is. It's like when I think about a couple weeks ago when I was lucky enough to get the job at Mercyhurst, like the amount of people that reached out to me that I don't even know. But it's exactly your point, like the brotherhood. It's hockey.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you get that in any other sport. I love the way it is in hockey. I'm thankful for it. I'm grateful for it. But it's experiences like we're sharing that I'm really trying to hold on to as I take this next step in my journey to make sure that it can kind of come back to the next group of guys.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. When we get a little bit older, and I feel like I'm at that point.
I'm right there with you.
But it is cool. Like with what I'm doing with the Hockey Think Tank now, as I was saying earlier, I do have a lot of younger guys that reach out for advice. One of them's here, Mike Clardy here this weekend, reached out to me out of the blue and was like, hey, can I just get a moment of your time and we can talk some hockey and whatever. And so I hopped on a Zoom with him and we did a couple Zooms after that. I'm like, this kid's freaking the real deal. Like he's really good. And now he's working with Clarkson. He's here now. And it's just like really cool to see. And so I'm fortunate with the Hockey Think Tank stuff. Like, I guess we're a little bit of an education arm in a way. So it's cool to kind of have those experiences that I had when I was that age. And now to be on the other side of it, to give back to some of the younger guys that like you can see in their eyes and the way that they talk, that they have the passion that you had back in the day. And then to see some of the conversation you had and then see them succeed a little bit. It's really, really cool. And first, full circle, like you said.
So this is actually really full circle because we started the conversation about shared experiences with our players and what they're going through. It's no different, right? Like when I see a guy that just took a D3 job for $5,000, like I did that. I was there with you. Like, what's up? Let's grab a beer. Let's talk. I love your path. I love your work ethic that you want to do that. But again, it's a shared experience, no different than being on the ice with your guys.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%, man.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
Well, last thing I have for you. So you just get named the head coach in waiting, Rick Gotkin. How many years has Gott's been there?
This year will be 38.
38 years as the head coach of Mercyhurst. Wow. Crazy.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Talk about grade A human beings.
Yeah.
Ricky G is the elite one.
He's a beauty too.
He is.
Absolute beauty. So, you get your opportunity to be a Division I head coach right now. I'm sure, and we've already talked, but there's a lot of things to do. Obviously, Rick's still the head coach. And you're seeing that now a little bit more. You saw it with Casey at Cornell and Brock at Notre Dame and McKelvey and at Army. And there's probably more that I'm missing off the top of my head. But what was really exciting you about getting the opportunity to be a Division I head coach for the first time? What are you most jacked about?
So there's a lot I'm excited about, but I will preface that with saying I think the best part about this is to be able, I'm excited for the opportunity to do it this year with Rick.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to be taking over Mercyhurst University hockey. There is no Mercyhurst University hockey without Rick Gotkin. That man bleeds green and blue.
Yeah.
Right? He has been it through and through, some good years, some bad years, but he is it. So for me, my first and foremost goal is to make this the best year for Rick so he can go out with a bang. Right? We got a lot of work to do as a staff and the players, but I'm super excited and grateful for that opportunity that, hopefully when he looks back on his last year, he was like, man, that was an enjoyable one. We won. We had some fun. So that's my ultimate goal, and then we'll take it from there. But what excites me the most is there's 64 jobs. There's 64 jobs, and I feel so honored, privileged. There's a lot of words you can use there. Proud, right? I'm happy for my family, right? My wife, my kids, they haven't lived with me for a couple of years, right? They're talk about sacrifice, and my wife and my 2 kids have done everything for me to get to this. So it's rewarding. Another word, to be able to say to them, hey, this is we did it.
Yeah.
Not complacent, right? There's still a lot I want to do, but we did it. A lot of the sacrifice we made as a family was to get to this level.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I think Mercyhurst is a perfect fit for me as a person. My values, my morals align with kind of the whole spectrum over there. So I'm excited to see what we could do. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people in the next couple of years. I think we've got a pretty good core of guys. I think we've got some pretty bright pieces coming in, and I'm looking forward to people doubting us. I really am.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the one thing that you said there that hit home with me is you said we did it. It's a we. There is a village, there is a community, there is a family. Whether it's immediate family or, your parents, your wife, your kids, things like that, brothers, sisters, and then, the people who kind of helped you and held your hand along the way, and you were a shoulder to cry on and a hug when you needed it, right? Or a kick in the ass when you needed it and stuff. And you can't get to one of those 64 jobs, like you said, without that kind of
that's
support.
Not just family, right? It's the people I mentioned. It's the Matt Tendlers, the Dominic Dawes, the Joe Coombs, right? The Dane Jacksons and the Guy Godowskis that gave me that motivation to keep going. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It is we. Anybody that thinks they got here on their own, I'm sorry, you're dreaming. you're dreaming.
Yeah, and that's why I always say, literally, I was saying it to the kids earlier, the most important decisions that you make in life are the people you surround yourself with. Those are the most important decisions in your life.
My mother used to tell me, you show me your friends and I'll show you who you are.
100%, man. 100%. And so it is really cool when you are able to achieve, what you've achieved and some good things that happen, because you can share that with other people, and feel grateful for their support and everything that they've given you. And, man, there's, it's at the end of the day, it's all about people, right? Everything's all about people.
It's all about people. I feel like the luckiest guy right now. I'm coaching Division I hockey for a living. I'm going to watch hockey games to recruit. I'm here in Nashville, watching hockey. My family's with me. They support me. What's bad? You think about people's lives and what's really going on, and life's not so bad.
Got it pretty good.
Life's not so bad.
Got it pretty good. Well, Pat, thanks for your time here today. Got a little break in the action. here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. But we're going to keep you for 10 questions here. Little rapid fire 10 questions at the end that'll be housed in our Hockey Think Tank community. But I know there's a lot of people in the college hockey world that are really happy for you. I personally know some Mercyhurst alumni that are ecstatic that you got the job as well. And so, man, sky's the limit. Can't wait to see what you do with the program. And yeah, congrats, man.
Well, I hope I make them proud. I'm super thankful to do this with you. Like I said, lots of episodes on the recruiting trail. So it's nice to be one of many now. So I'm ecstatic. I'm honored to be a part of it, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time while we sit here and watch this last game.
There we go. All right, thanks, man. The fastest game on ice just hit another gear. Welcome to the Stanley Cup Final, where legends are made and every shift can turn the tide. And now, with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can take every slap shot, breakaway, and overtime thriller to the next level. New to betting on the Stanley Cup Final? You're in for an exciting time. Getting started is a breeze. Fire up DraftKings Sportsbook app, pick your team to win, lock in your wager, and you're off to the races. It's fast, simple, and puts you right in the middle of the action. Here's the kicker. New customers who bet just $5 will score $300 in bonus bets if their wager hits. That's right. Turn $5 into a Stanley Cup Final payout. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN. That's promo code THPN to unlock $300 in bonus bets when your $5 bet wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bet must win to receive reward. Minimum minus 500 odds required. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Copyright 2025 NHL.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.